What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing yet another beer from Hop Butcher for the World, and they are out of Chicago, Illinois, and this is their Sunrise over Northerly Island. So they are calling this one a Pacific Sunrise Hopped IPA that comes in at 6.25% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is just under 6 weeks old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to Hop Butcher for hooking me up with this one. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies they hooked me up with this time around, and a lot of different offerings, and this sounds really interesting because Pacific Sunrise hops, I believe I had it in one other Hop Butcher beer. They sent me a couple beer mails late last year when the channel was on hiatus, and I reviewed them off camera, and their Kiwi Coast was Nectaron hops, this, and I forget the third hop, but it was interesting. And I know nothing really about Pacific Sunrise hops. I didn't even know they existed until I saw that they were in a couple Hop Butcher beers. So this is a 6.25% IPA using strictly Pacific Sunrise hops. And yeah, not looking at the tasting notes. Want to see what they bring to the table without me looking. So yeah, cracking this one open, getting it into the glass, and reviewing it properly. Well, improperly, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It's Beer Patrol, baby. Let's get this into a glass here. Oh, yeah, so that has a very, very light color to it. So it looks very milky pouring out, but like super light in person. I don't know how it's going to look on camera. Always dulls it out, but yeah, in person it has this like light yellow-orange color. It looks like kind of like a light like turkey gravy or something like that. About a finger and a half to almost 2 fingers of a bright white, super creamy, almost slightly soap sudsy, but more creamy looking head. That's a beautiful looking beer. Beautiful looking IPA. Let's get a nose on it. Whew, okay. What the fuck? What is that? I don't know what that is. It has this like weird acidic, almost like citrus vibe to it, like a lemon, a lime, maybe like a guava. So definitely like lemon lime kind of qualities. Big acidic lemon, lime, maybe a guava. There's something else here. I don't know. The malt is definitely noticeable too, which is what I'm figuring out, like reviewing beers that are like sub 6.5%. A lot of times I'm definitely getting the malt characteristic, whether it's bready, biscuity, crackery, sweeter, grainy, whatever the case may be. In here, I'm getting like this almost crackery, bready type of thing. Yeah, the malt character is definitely present. But over top of it, it's lemon, it's lime, it's guava, it's orange. It has an acidic type of bite to the nose that I wasn't anticipating. Maybe a little bit of stone fruit, like a mango or a peach or something. The fuck is that? It has almost a, I'm not familiar with the hop, but has almost like a nondescript red berry type of note to it. And I'll throw that tasting note out from time to time when I can't properly kind of pinpoint the berry characteristic I'm getting this one. Does it smell like strawberry or raspberry? It's kind of like a field berry. And yeah, I haven't said field berry in a while. But yeah, lemon, lime, orange, guava, field berry. A little bit of a malt base. Smells pretty fucking cool. Smells unique. Smells different. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Hop Butcher. That's a cool beer. Very cool. Yeah. It's a really cool beer. It's different from a lot of Hop Butcher beers I've had since they started sending me stuff. I've had a lot of cool Hop Butchers, a lot of mind-blowing ones, a lot of solid ones, a couple that I didn't like. This is kind of like I really enjoy it, but it's real different. So I'm trying to my brain's trying to process what I'm tasting because it's so different than what they're known for. One more sip and then we'll go body, mouthfeel, and get into the tasting notes. Body in this one's like lower side of medium body, so 6.25%. I think the body's appropriate. The mouthfeel is not as luscious and creamy and like soft and pillowy as a lot of their mouthfeels, but it's still nice. Has a little bit more carbonation. So body and mouthfeel, solid, really good. The taste, all over the fucking place. The nose carries over somewhat. There's new things introduced on the palate, so let's try to break it down here. Right at the forefront, I'm getting that citrus. It's lemon, it's lime, it's orange. You could pretty much say any citrus character you want. Lemon, lime, orange, tangerine, grapefruit, you probably wouldn't be wrong. It just has that kind of citrus tonality at the beginning of the palate. It's sweet, it's juicy, but it also has some kind of like zesty, almost bittering kind of component to it, aspect to the actual citrus character. That's right at the forefront. Passes through the palate. The malt kind of is this underlying kind of almost bready, biscuity cracker. I'd say more crackery than anything. Slightly grainy, underlying. But I was going to say, as it passes through the palate, middle of the palate, I'm hit with that field berry. And it's like an unsweetened like berry. Like you just pick a berry randomly in a field, hoping it's not poisonous, and you eat it and you're just like, it's just a berry, right? You can't sit there and just, you could say, oh, maybe that's a blackberry, maybe that's a strawberry, maybe it's a raspberry, maybe it's a hybrid, whatever the case may be. But I can't really pinpoint it. As it passes through and continues through the palate, on the back of the palate, I'm left with this really semi-dry to full-on dry finish. There's not a lot of bitterness, almost no bitterness. It just has a really like almost, I wouldn't say bone dry, but approaching bone dry kind of finish for me. And I'm left with this slightly grassy, earthy kind of hop character that I was not getting in the nose. Definitely was not getting that, but in the taste, it's like more of a grassiness. Really easy to drink, 6.25%. Really different than anything I've had from Hop Butcher. Like, it's such a cool and unique experience here drinking something that's, you know, they're focusing on the Pacific Sunrise hop. And I can't sit here and tell you I've had like I don't think it's single hop. I think it's, I don't know. I mean, Hop Butcher could chime in here if they want in the comments, but like, I feel like they're showcasing Pacific Sunrise. There's probably like a base with other hops in it, but they're just like maybe dry hopping it or double dry hopping it with it, whatever the case may be. Maybe not. Maybe they're brewing it 100% with Pacific Sunrise. I don't know. I just know that this is unique character to it. No alcohol to speak of on the palate. This is really, it's fun, unique, different, interesting, but it's not like a mind-blowing beer to me. It's just a really good beer. This is like, to me, if I lived in the Chicago area and they brought this out, I'd buy a couple 4-packs of it, throw it in my fridge, and when I just want I want that hop fix without being a crazy ABV level and something that's different, unique, and will keep you interested, this is something I would bust out of the fridge and be like, oh, pouring one of these, 6.25%, just nice, easygoing beer for the night. But it's not like one of my favorites, but it's still pretty fucking good. So I'm going to go rating on the Sunrise over Northerly Island from Hop Butcher. Give that a low 4 out of 5 and go 3.95 out of 5. Why? Because I just did, and ratings don't matter. Oh yeah, tasting notes. So I said this in the Megabyte review. I'm glad that I like showed the beer. I wouldn't even talk about the label itself, but I love just doing this at the end for, you know, different reasons. But one of them would be, you know, getting a thumbnail. But I remember the tasting notes now because when I see it, I'm like, oh, tasting notes. So let's go over the tasting notes, see if I know what I'm talking about. Fresh citrus, yeah, like that's to me. If you drink this and you don't get some kind of citrus tone to it, then I don't know, like your palate might be broke. I mean, mine's not the greatest palate. Like my palate's pretty shitty, but without question, fresh citrus. Tangy berry. I wouldn't say tangy berry. I would just say nondescript berry for me, and I'd say more of a red berry, but yeah, berry. So, and again, in the flavor it wasn't like big, but it was very noticeable middle of the palate. And then last is juicy clementine. I mean, I feel that's kind of in the fresh citrus kind of realm. They're saying more of like a juicy clementine orange. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so tasting notes pretty much aligned with what I was getting. This is a good beer. 3.95 out of 5. Good rating. But it's one of those beers that I think if like, let's say this was the first Hop Butcher beer you ever had. I wouldn't say you'd be disappointed by it, but I think you'd be like, well, what's all the hype about? Because they're trying a hop that's relatively new. I haven't had Pacific Sunrise hop, like I said, outside of my memory. I can't think of any other brewery that have had Pacific Sunrise, and I probably have, I just don't remember it. But they're using a hop here and kind of showcasing it in a beer that is a lower ABV. So like if you were like drinking this first time Hop Butcher and being like, oh, I don't get all the hype. This isn't the beer that you want to try the first time from Hop Butcher because it's well made, it's good, it's different, it's unique, but it's not what Hop Butcher does. Hop Butcher for me, their 7.5% double IPAs is where it's at. There's so many of them, and so many of them are delicious. So if you're introducing someone to Hop Butcher, you want some of those beers. This beer, I don't think you want to introduce Hop Butcher for the first time. This is a beer like after you've had 10, 15, 20 Hop Butcher, you're drinking like, I understand why they call them Hop Butcher. But anyway, present availability, I believe these are like $12.99, $13.99 4-pack. Great. Here's the thing about Hop Butcher. Great value in the Chicago area. If you buy these online, whether you're in Europe or here in the States, you're probably going to pay $5 to $6 for this can just because, you know, you can't get it. And if you can order it online and have it delivered to your house, sure, with shipping and everything. But, you know, 13, 14 bucks a 4-pack of this all fucking day long in the Chicagoland area. So availability, like I said, you can get them all over the place now. If you really, 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 really want Hop Butcher, you don't have to go out of your way. You just got to go on the internet and you can find Hop Butcher. And it's not going to break the bank if you want to try some of their stuff. So anybody's like, oh, I can't get my hands on Hop Butcher. Sure, you can't walk into your local bottle shop and probably grab their stuff. Some of you might be able to, but not everybody. But if you really want their stuff, there's some online sites you can find that have it. So, yeah, like I said, the ABV on this one, you can't really tell anything's going on alcohol-wise, and not much more to say about. So if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. I think, like I said, this is a very fun, unique, interesting, fun to try type of beer where it's like, man, that's a different type of beer. Not my favorite, and just have to be honest with you. So 3.95 out of 5. If you have this one before, let me know what you think about it. Appreciate Hop Butcher sending this one my way. Really cool to try. Until the next one, cheers.